And so I have my plan and my elevation drawn in there now. And I have it drawn light enough at the moment because I'm not certain yet what part of this is going to be cut away for my interpenetration view. So the next part I'm going to draw now is a triangular prism going through it. Now we are given a bit of information about it. Just having a look there, we are told obviously it is cut is going up. That's at an angle of 20 degrees. We can see that there clearly, and it gives us a starting point almost for that, which is down a distance of 22 and out for that point there. And we also know the width of that in plan is 40. Okay, we also have a clue there that that's 20 from the outside edge of my irregular prism to the first edge here. That this is the edge which is going to be nearest my vertical plane. That'll be very important to come over to my auxiliary view. Okay, so I'm just going to draw this first of all on my elevation. I'm going to drop it to plan, and then I'm going to start working on my auxiliary view. Okay, so I locate my point here, which is down 22, and I project up at 20 degrees. Okay, so down 22 to here, and project it out along, and that'll give me my starting point, which is going to be there, and I'm going to project up then at 20 degrees, or project down along at 20 degrees. Okay, so that's my starting point, so I'm going to come on horizontal from there first. I'm going to get my angle set up now at 20 degrees. From that point there, I can set up my angle of 20 degrees. So there's my angle, my line drawn down there at 20 degrees. And we come out horizontally, and the bottom edge is also going to be 20 degrees, it's going to be parallel with that top edge there. Okay, but before I work that out, I'm just going to construct my view over here that I'm given in the question, and that'll enable me to find the bottom edge, if you like. Okay, so I'm going to continue up along there. I'm going to locate a point, and I'm going to construct an equilateral triangle. So obviously this line here being the center line of it, that is going to be 90 degrees or perpendicular to that 20 degree line going up along. I'm told in the question that it's an equilateral triangular prism of side 40. Okay, so all of these sides here are 40 long. So I go up out of the way in my drawing, and that I'm going to have it as my starting point then for that triangular prism. I'm just going to go 90 degrees now to that 20 degree line that I have. Now that's going to give me my center line for my equilateral triangular prism. The side of it is 40, so I just set my compass to 40. I know this measurement here in my plan is already 40, so I can just use that. Alright now. Okay, so I know all the way along that arc, it's 40 between when I go perpendicular to this line. Now, my bottom edge here has to be 40 as well. Okay. And I'm going to cross and going up like that. So that has to be 40. So what I'm going to do for that is I'm going to offset from this line. I'm going to offset my distance of 20 and 20, and where it cuts it, that's going to be my point. Okay, so I can just measure off that 20. Okay, so that's my point there. I can now set my 40 from there. I can take it off. That's my other point. So that, if you like, is my end view of my triangular prism. And I can project back that bottom edge down along, and where that hits the ground, it gives me another point on it. So I'll just look back at the question. You can see that there, project that back along, it'll give me that point, and then I'll be able to finish off that object. Okay, so that point where it hits the ground is there, and now I can finish off that object. Okay, so that's that complete. You can see that goes right out there, that goes up, and it actually touches here, so it's slightly overlapping that view, but I'm not too worried with that. It'll be okay. Okay, so that's the corner, the front corner of that object as it cuts through. So I'll get away with that there. Now, I'll drop that down to my plan. So this is just straight from the Wharton T-square. Drop it down into plan. So that's my top point. My bottom ones. Okay, and I can finish off my plan view of that object there. Now I'm not sure when it goes in here exactly where it stops yet. I'll use my auxiliary to help me find that out. Now that point there, I know it will be along more or less the center here when I come out. Okay, so it will be along that center there when I come out. But I'm going to wait until I have my auxiliary, and then I'll project it back around and that then. Now, I can finish off the back of that there really without too much difficulty. Okay, so I know this here is on the ground. It's going to be underneath the rest of that triangular prism. Okay, so that's going to be dotted, because that's going to be on the ground. Okay, so that line is dotted going out there. I see that point, which is in the center. Okay, and that's going to be sloping back down to there, and all that there is given in the question. You just have to locate that point that I'm at there now. Okay, and this line will continue until it cuts into this face here. Okay, I'm not exactly sure where that is yet. Okay, but as I'm looking at it, I can find that straight away. Right, so from my elevation, it basically continues until it hits this. This line here is an edge view of this surface here. Okay, so as I'm looking at it, it's an edge view of that surface there. So that point and that point there can just be dropped straight down. that's the top edge of that triangular prism. Okay, so that's that back part done. Now, there wasn't a whole pile of working out there with that at all, really. And obviously I know that I will see this object until there. Underneath that then, that point is going to become dotted because it's hidden, it's underneath it, and back out to there. Okay, so there's the back part of it done fairly quickly. Okay, the front part then is where we're going to work in our auxiliary view from. Okay, so we take our auxiliary view looking down along at our 20 degrees. I'm going to take my x1, y1, 90 degrees to that. So there's my x1, y1, 90 degrees to that 20 degree line going down. And the first thing I'm going to draw is my triangular prism. Again, I'm going to number up everything here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 1 is that top line going through that top point, which this guy here we said already, so that's going to be 1, 1. And 1 back there. And now I need to work out my 2 and my 3. Okay, so this back line here, that's going to be line number 2. This is going to be line number 3. Okay, so I'm going to draw my auxiliary view of that object first. So my distance here from my xy in my original view, or from my vertical plane as you call it in my original view, that's going to be the same in this one. This is my vertical plane this time. My x1, y1. And this here is my original xy. Okay, so I just want to make sure I'm at my right angle here. Okay, so that's the one I'm measuring along there now. Now, so I'm going to take my distance here and I'm going to mark it off. Distance xy down to 1, mark it off from xy down to 1. And basically I'm going to get this kind of an object again. I'll take my distance to like number 2. Mark it off. And the distance from 3. I'll mark it off. I just need to extend that line. That's 1, that was 2, and that's 3. So again, I get my prism over there, my triangular prism over there that side. Okay, my equilateral triangular prism. And now I'm going to get the view of this object here in the middle. So I'm just going to label this as 0. And we're just going to call this A, B, C, D, E, and F. So I'll locate all those points. So that there, first of all, the tip is 0. This here is D and E. This here is C, and at the back we have F. And then we have B and A. Okay, so we're just going to look down along, same direction, and get my new view over here. So I'll project my points first. That's 0, A and B, C and F, and D and D. And I know 0 is the same distance as my 1 from my xy. So that's going to be my 0. My E is the same distance as 2. My D is the same distance down as 3. So I can just use these straight away now. So E is the same distance as 2. That's E. 3 is the same distance from my original xy as point D. So D. And then we also have B and C and A and F. Okay, so they're going to have to be measured separately. So A and F are the same distance anyway, so I'll just measure one of them. That's going to be for A and F. So just marking off distances here. Project the line, so that's A and F. And then we're also going to get it for B and C. Take that distance and mark it off for B and for C. So again, I'm just going to extend that line till it hits it. That's my distance there. And I said that is for points B and C. So again, I'm just taking distance and marking it from my x1, y1. Again, that's for the lines B and C. So that's C. I'll just extend B's line. And that's B. And again, we're going to join up the very same it is down here. So 0 goes down to all the points first. So as I'm looking at that direction, so 0 to E, 0 to D. So 0 to E and 0 to D. And then we have 0 to C and 0 to F. C and 0 to F, and then we also have 0 to A and 0 to B. 0 to A, so that's not A. 0 to A is over here. Just rub out that one. And we also have 0 to B. And we join these back as they are as well. So B goes to C, C goes to D, D goes to E, F, F goes back to A. So you can see here, you should be able to see the shape. And then back across the back edge, A goes back to B. A is already joined back to B. It is light, ideally it is hidden, so it doesn't really matter. So you can see there now clearly where that object is cutting through my irregular prism. So point 1, 3, 2. Okay, so 1 is cutting in there in the face of, we call it 0 DE. Okay, point 1 is cutting in there. Now we know that really anyway. Okay, 1 extends back, it goes, it's on that phase 0 DE. Okay, and if I was to essentially just drop that down there, it's going to locate that point for me anyway. We said that at the start. Okay, so we also have a point here, 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 and here. So they're the ones that are on edges. So they're going to be our turning points, if you like. They're going to be easy find because they are on an edge. So this point here, so 1, so we'll call it P, we'll call this one Q, this one R, and this point S over here. Okay, so if we start here, working our way around, 1 to P to 3 to Q to R to 2 to S back to 1. So this is the order. We're starting at 1, we're going to P, the next one we meet is number 3, from there we meet Q, from there we meet R, from there we go to 2, and we go up to S, and we have to complete the loop and go back to 1. Okay, so it's in that order there. That's the order we're going in. Okay, so now we can start getting these points, locating them, and bringing them over here. So the ones that are on edges are easy find, so I might as well get them first. So P and S, we can bring them straight back up. Q and R, we can bring them straight back up and down. Okay, so I'm going to do one of them. The rest of them are the very same. So we're projecting back up at our 20 degrees, the same angle we came down at. So P and S onto that edge there. So that's the edge 0 to D, 0 to D, and that's on the edge 0 to E, and that's also edge 0 to E over here in my elevation. Okay, so for example, that is point P, and it's also going to be point S. These ones are going to be very same. Q and R, they're actually going to be on the edge that's projected down for the object. So that's points Q and R. We can drop them straight down to plan. So P and S first. And that's P. Sorry, that's S. That's P. And Q and R. This is Q. And this guy over here is R. Okay. Now, as we know, the ones that crash into the face, a little bit more work to do, not a whole pile. So we're going to take point 3. We're going to put in a fake edge or a generator line. And I'm going to just put that in an orange. So from a known point, so from point 0, I'm going to go through point 3. And that's to give me a new edge. I'm going to locate that edge over in this view, and then I'll be able to easily find where point 3 cuts through that. Okay, so that's on line CD. Just get my angle right, project that back up. Project that back up to my 0, and that's going to give me the location of point 3. And because this is symmetrically the way it cuts into it, 2 is going to be directly behind that. Okay, so 2 is going to be on the far side, directly behind that there. So we just drop that now straight away down to my plan. 1, we don't have to go through getting 1, it's on the center of it. Okay, if you want, you can put in your generator line going down there if you like, and you can put that generator line straight away into your plan. We more or less have it anyway, and that's going to be our point number 1. That's 1 in elevation. Okay, now I do need to find 3 and 2 in my plan. Okay, so 3 is here. So we drop that straight down. It's going to be directly underneath that there somewhere. So 2 will be on that face there somewhere, and 3 is going to be on this face here somewhere. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to drop down that generator line that I have. Just the generator line that side, and I can put it in for the other side as well. Okay, so that gives me my point here, and that gives me my point 3 at this side. Okay, so that's on edge 2, that's on edge 3, therefore they have to be my points there in place like that. We just join them up exactly as it is, 1 to P to 3 to Q to R to 2 to S to 1, in that order. So we'll start at 1, 1 goes down to P, P goes down to 3, 3 goes across to Q. Now that's going to be underneath, because if we're looking down on that in plan, if you can imagine we're looking down on it here in plan, we can see here to here, we can see here to here, and then underneath there is going to be hidden. Okay, so that's going to go across to my Q. That's a hidden detail line. And then we're going to go from Q straight across to my R. And again, that's underneath, so that's going to be hidden as well. And we're going to go from my R, again underneath hidden, over to point 2. Just here across from 3, there's 3, there's 2. Okay, and we're going to go from 2 back to S. And this is coming up again, we can see it looking down on top, so that's going to be solid. So from 2 back to S. And we'll go from S back to 1. Okay, so there's that lined in there, more or less, where it cuts back out through the front. Okay, now, I know my object from here goes out to my 2 corners. I can see that in my pictorial view and in my plan that I'm already given. Okay, so from my point 1 in the center, it's cutting out like that. And it's cutting out like that. And that's the front edge. Then there, this continues all the way back in over here, and that's where it cuts into that face. Okay, so you can continue that back in along there, and the same for this side. Okay, so my next one then is a little bit of detail underneath that there. So that edge there, DE, as I'm looking down on top, DE is going to be dotted, it's hidden. It's sitting on the ground, but it is underneath that there. Okay, now this edge here going up along, so we'll say the edge E to 0 or the edge D to 0, which is this line in my elevation. That is hidden until here. So from here, it's hidden. Okay, it hits that there, and then it comes back out. And the same for this guy here. Hidden until it hits that. It comes back out. It's not hidden from here to here because it's not actually there. Okay, and the same for over here. It's not actually there because it's cut away by our object here. So it's cutting out through the way. We can see that there. That part of that edge is more or less gone. Okay, and the same for here. That's more or less gone as well because this object here cuts that out as it goes through it. Okay, and after that then we can finish heavying it off. Or heavying it in. I think that's my plan more or less entirely completed. Okay, just looking over all my points there. Now, I've actually, just looking at this point here, I should have projected that down and finish it off with a dotted line, because that's where the prism goes into that flat face there. So just project that down. And I finish that off there with a dotted line. And that's that done there, so I'm happy with that. I'm just going to finish off my elevation. Solid to there. That's solid to there. And that's just one flat surface meeting the one, so that line goes in here. Now already all we have is this object coming in, cutting it, eats into a kind of a little section here. Okay, so we're going to follow the very same order as we have followed before. 1 to P, 1 to P, goes back to Q, back to R, and that's kind of it. That's all we can really see of it. So 1 is going to go straight down to P. P goes down to our Q. Sorry, P goes down to our 3, I should say. That's where my 3 is. And then 3 goes back along then to Q and to R. So that's kind of all we can see there of that. Let me finish off that little bit at the top. Okay, and again, don't forget to label everything: elevation, plan, auxiliary plan, or XY, or X1, Y1. And that's basically it. So just going to add a bit of color to that there now. So there's the drawn finished. Just a little bit of color on it, just to define it, to show what's intersecting what and what's cut away. So we can see clearly here in our auxiliary plan, our blue triangular prism cutting in through our irregular base pyramid, okay, which is highlighted there in yellow.